It's time for the Northwoods Cooking Show. Starring Uncle Roy and Miss Callie, the troublemaking dog.
Hi, and welcome to the Northwoods Cooking Show. I'm your cook, Uncle Roy, and this is my lovely assistant, Miss Callie Ellis. Callie, come here. Come here, Callie. Come here. Tweet. Gotta coax her in. Oh, here she is. The star of the show, yeah. Come here, sit pretty. Come here. Sit pretty. Oh, yeah. Oh, up a little bit more. Oh, there you go. Oh, a little tired this morning. Yeah, crunch, crunch, crunch. Well, today we're going to be doing an Italian dish. We're going to be making fettuccine alfredo. And we're going to be making the pasta from scratch. And this is going to be fun. Now in my mixer, I'm going to be mixing up the dough first. And we need 2.5 cups of whole wheat flour. And then we need 1 cup of bread flour. This is called a light wheat pasta. It's not all wheat and it's not all white flour. And we're going to add 4 eggs to this. Ooh, Kelly, she got her toy. Oh, I can hear her in the other room. Oh, don't you? You got your toy. And remember now to crack the shells on the countertop so that you don't get eggshells into your dough if you crack it on this side of the bowl. And then we need 2 tablespoons of water. And with this recipe, if you have the time and don't have the proper utensils like I have, you can take and roll this out onto your countertop after you knead it. And then you can cut out squares to make a ravioli if you wanted to. Or you can get one of those wheel cutters that just goes up and down, zoom, 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 right on your countertop. But make sure you have a cutting board. You don't want to have scars on your countertop. And a half teaspoon of salt. And of course, kosher salt. And we just need a quarter teaspoon of that. And that helps to, the leavening helps to make it rise lighter and fluffier. And I say that always about the kosher salt. It's less sodium than iodized salt, and it does make your products much lighter and fluffier. And now we're going to take and mix this for about 30 seconds. And then we're going to switch to our dough hook. Now we might have to take and add just a little bit more water. So we need to knead this for about 2 to 4 minutes, about 2 minutes maybe. But it's not going to knead if you don't have it, if it doesn't, stick together. So I'm just going to do this, add a little bit more water, 1 tablespoon at a time. So we don't want to have it overly moist. When it starts to cling, then we know we're doing good. Okay, now this has finally come together. Now I had to take and alter that recipe because it just was not getting together. What you want to do is after it's all done, just pinch between your fingers here a little bit. And if it's sticky, you need a little bit more flour. If it's too dry, you need more water. But this is just, it's not sticking to my fingers, so it's just fine. And so with this total recipe, now it all depends on humidity and everything else, the size of your eggs, etc. I ended up having to do the 2.5 cups of whole wheat flour and 1 cup of bread flour. I did 5 eggs, a 1/4 cup of water, and a half teaspoon of salt. Now we can just take and knead the rest of this by hand, just for about another minute or so. We're going to take and cut this into 8 pieces. Okay, now we're going to just set this aside, and we want to take and just flatten this out. And you want to do it like a rectangular shape. It doesn't have to be exact, but you're getting the idea. You just want to get it flat now because we're going to stick this into the machine to knead it and make it into our pasta. This is the fun part. I got this attachment. I haven't played with this in a long time. And this is my roller. Just hook it right into the machine. And this is my roller. And now we just can do this all by hand. You want to have just a little bit of flour on your surface to play with so that it doesn't all start sticking together on a number 1. And we just work our way up to a number 4. And we just put this on 2. Let the magic begin. And then you just take and roll that in half and slide it through again. And this is going to be kneading the dough and smoothing it out all in one step. And you just do that 4 times. And then we take and we pull this out and switch up to a number 2. Roll that in half and do the same thing. Each time you increase the tension so it gets thinner and thinner. You can't just go to a number 4 immediately and put this through, because you have to make it thinner gradually. Otherwise you might wreck your machine. Now if you want to make lasagna, you could just leave these noodles just like that. There's a lasagna. And you can just let them air dry for, like I said, on your countertop for about an hour if you want to make dry pasta. If you want to have the fresh pasta, you can use this right away. And we can do this again some other time and do raviolis too if we want. What you do with the ravioli is make your meat, your filling, vegetarian meat, whatever, and just plop it down in little circles like that. Cut out your squares, one on top of the other. Boom, boom, there you go. Very, very simple. These are just so fun to play with. Is that right, Callie Alleys? Look, you're missing out on treats. Samples. Mmm. She comes. See, if I said mmm, she'd come in. See, look at her. She's a mooch. Professional mooch, aren't you? Yeah. Now we're going to take and switch into our cutter. Now here's the fun part, Callie Alleys. Yeah. Here we make our noodles. Yeah. Make our noodles now. So now we got this, and we just slide it right in to the fettuccine cutter. Look at this. Ah! Look at Callie. Look at noodles. Look at the noodles. Oh. Oh, samples. Oh. Noodles. Samples. That's okay, she can eat these. This is like her dog treat. It's just flour and egg. But see how we got these noodles now? Oh, these are just fabulous. We got the light wheat fettuccine noodle. Now these this is just 1/8 of the recipe. And depending upon how many you're going to feed right away, it depends on how many you want to make. This is more than enough for 2 people right here. But this you can just take and sprinkle with a little flour, toss lightly. That just helps to keep them from sticking. And now you can take this whole little section, let it sit for an hour, and let it air dry like that. Maybe put it on a cookie sheet, put it somewhere else, whatever. But just let it air dry for about an hour. You want to make sure though you have some flour in there so it doesn't keeps it from sticking together. So they're lightly floured. And then you can just take and put it in a Ziploc bag and put it in the freezer. Boom, there you go. And you got instant pasta for next time you want to use it. Just throw it into your boiling water. And that's all we have to do now is we're going to cook this in our boiling water. So we'll get that going. And I'm going to take and finish off the rest of these so that I can have them for later use. As long as I got it, might as well do it. You can see this is a close-up now of making my pasta. And this is my step 4. See how it's getting thinner and thinner, and longer, and it needs it all in one. This is such a fabulous tool. But like I said, this could be just a lasagna if you don't want to take and cut it out. Or you can make ravioli out of it, or egg noodles. You can just cut them up in thin slices. As the fettuccine comes out, you can cut those off into little pieces, and then you got your noodles. And now we'll just take and switch heads here. Oh, Callie's right down here waiting for crumbs. See, and there's our lovely pasta. Now, like I said, just take and lay this into the flour, dust it around with a little bit of flour on this. You don't have to do a lot. It's just enough to dust it, to touch it all so that it doesn't stick together. Otherwise, you end up with one big glob in your freezer. But you want to take and let this air dry now for an hour. Oh, samples. Oh, Callie Allie's still helping. Look at your face got flowers on it. Yeah. Well, this is my final one now, and I got the cutting in it, and this is the one I'm going to put in the pot. So I'm just going to go directly from the cutter into the boiling water. Go, Callies. We got the water boiling here, and I just put in a little, like a half teaspoon of salt, and these will float. So you want to take and stir them every so often. Now remember, I told you when I made the macaroni and cheese, if you got dry pasta, it's very important to stir your pasta several times that very first minute, because that's when your pasta sticks if you don't stir it. So that first minute you want to stir it quite a bit. And with dry pasta, this will cook up in about 7 minutes. And with the fresh pasta, this will cook up in about 6 minutes. So when you're making fresh pasta, it cooks up much quicker. But now, like I said, I made up that whole batch and I did it all, and I got each section drying out now for about an hour. Ziploc bag, throw it in the freezer, so when I ever want to do this again, throw it in the hot water, there you go, it's all ready to go. But just every so often you walk by that, stir it, and we'll time that for about 6 minutes. Now it's already started to boil, so I probably can cut down to about 5 now. And then we'll come back and check out our pasta. While my pasta's cooking, I'm going to start cooking up my additives to the fettuccine. Now I got my pan going here. I'm putting in just a little bit of olive oil. And that's just freehand pouring. And then I just cut up my chicken breast, and I cut this into thin slivers. Now my chicken breast is slightly frozen, so that way it's much easier to cut into thin slices. Ain't that right, Callie? Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. And this can go right into the frying pan. And this is basically going to be like a stir fry. Check our pasta. You want to cook that till it's al dente. It's just about done. We can turn that off. And then I'm going to add a few little peas and carrots to this, just for color. These are the frozen ones. And we're just stir frying this together. Just to heat up those vegetables, because they're already cooked. We just need to heat them up. And that chicken is just about done. So the timing is just perfect to have all these two. By the time the vegetables thaw out, the chicken will be done. Is that right, Callie? Can't wait for samples, can you? Now for the Alfredo sauce. And this is very simple. So we have our chicken and vegetables. And you can put in any kind of vegetables you want. Mushroom and onion is a good choice. Diced ham and peas is a good choice, just by itself instead of chicken. You can put it in whatever you want. But this is just a light meal, very easy to make. And you have your heavy cream. And your heavy cream is what your liquid whipping cream is. Now you just pour this in until you cover it. You don't have to have it really thick. You don't need a lot, because we're going to take and reduce this. Now that's boiling away, which is nice. And we're just letting this boil so that the cream can absorb into the vegetables and the meat. And then, so I got probably maybe about 1/3 of a cup of cream in there. And then you just want to sprinkle in your Parmesan cheese. Oh, a couple tablespoons, about 1/4 cup, just a little at a time, until it thickens up your sauce. And that's it for your Alfredo sauce. It's just a whipping cream and Parmesan cheese. Now you can put butter in there too if you want. That's where you get your richness come in, the heavy cream. But that's what gives it the flavor. And I want to throw in 2 tablespoons of butter. Now you just let this reduce, and it'll thicken up on its own. So I got like about 1/4 cup, about 1/3 of a cup of heavy cream. Let that start reducing, and about 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese and 2 tablespoons of butter. And this is going to make a wonderful Alfredo sauce. Just remember to keep stirring now, because this thickens up. It's very easy to scorch, so watch your heat and watch your timing. Because you don't want to don't want this to thicken up too thick, because we're going to add the pasta, and that's going to thicken it up too. In fact, I might just have to thin this out a little bit. And see, this is a recipe that I do that's by sight and not by measurement. But I got the right consistency, and I'll let you see that. So, this is the Alfredo sauce, and see how it's still runny, but it's more on a creamier side now. It's almost like a thicker cream sauce. It's not quite thick like gravy, but it's a thicker cream sauce. And that's what we want at this stage, because now we're going to put in our pasta. And the pasta is going to thicken up that sauce. And then you just toss this all around together. You got your chicken and vegetables and that sauce. Turn off your heat, that's it. This is done and ready to serve. We'll put this in plater up and we'll let you see what that is. Lovely fettuccine Alfredo. As you can see, you can see the chicken, the vegetables. I sprinkled with a little Parmesan cheese and a little breadstick, and you got a fabulous meal. So, from Miss Callie and I, healthy eating, be safe, spread the sunshine. Okay, now we're going to do our second recipe, which is the shrimp fettuccine primavera. And what that is our fettuccine mixed in with fresh vegetables. And that's where the primavera comes in. Now we have the water boiling, and this is our pasta again, and we're just separating it and putting that into our pot. Remember, this is the fresh pasta, so it only takes 6 minutes rather than 7 or 8 for dry. So this will cook up rather quickly. And it will come float, and you want to cook it till it's al dente, which is firm to the bite. You don't want to overcook it and have it real rubbery either, or mushy. So that'll take about 6 minutes, and we'll just put that on the timer just in case. Now for the primavera part, the sauce. We're going to have, this is like the Alfredo again, it's like a stir fry. The medium to high heat, and we just take and put in a little bit of olive oil into the pan, about a tablespoon or so. Just drizzle it across. You don't want it heavy because you don't want it greasy. And we're going to wait for this to get hot. And what we're going to do then is stir fry our vegetables to make them soft and tender. And they don't need to take that long. Vegetables only take about 3 minutes. And if I had fresh shrimp, I would put that in right now too. But I have already pre-cooked shrimp that was on sale. So all I have to do is toss that in at the very end, because we don't want to overcook your shrimp either. Now with your pasta, stir it every so often because you don't want it to stick. And I said that was very important when you're cooking your pasta. That first minute, it's very important to stir it so it doesn't stick. You don't need to put oil and salt and everything else into that water. If you just stir it frequently, it won't stick. Okay, our oil is nice and hot. Now we're just throwing our vegetables. And you want to do your harder ones first. What I have here is broccoli. And on my platter I also have red and green peppers, onions, and cherry tomatoes cut in half. Now you can put in any type of vegetable you want to. Just happen to get what's in season, and it's cheaper that way. Give this a little stir. Because the broccoli takes a little longer to cook than the other vegetables. You always want to do your hard vegetables first, whether it be carrots or broccoli. Then you can add in your other vegetables. I'm going to put my tomatoes in last, because those only take a little bit. You just want to heat them up. You don't want to cook those, otherwise they get too soft and mushy. And we did a stir fry once before, and as I said, oh, Callie, there go the birdies. As I said before, when you cook like a stir fry, cook it until the onions are just slightly limp, because you want to keep them still firm to the bite. You don't want those to get overcooked either. So that don't take very long at all. Probably only take about 3-4 minutes to stir fry all the vegetables. Oops. And then I've got a can of diced tomatoes, and these are roasted with a little bit of garlic in them. And then we stir this all around together. And you can put your tomatoes in now too. And I'll put my shrimp in now too also. And now we're just going to let this cook down until it's reduced. Until everything's all heated up. So remember, these shrimp are already cooked, so we don't need to, all we have to do is heat it. We don't have to take and cook them. So this shouldn't take very long at all. I'm going to stir this together and then let it come back to a boil again. And we can put a little bit of seasonings in there. I like to have it just a little spicy, so I'm going to put in a little bit of Cajun seasoning, just a titch. Not too hot. And I'm going to throw in a little bit of basil. I want that more of Italian flavor to this dish. And then I'm going to sprinkle in just a little bit of Italian seasoning. Now we mix this up. See, now it's starting to come back to a boil, so that means everything is heated thoroughly. And now our pasta has like about a minute left and it's done. But what we're going to do now with the pasta is finish cooking it off in the marinara sauce. So that makes the pasta now is going to get cooked off in this tomato mixture, and that will absorb all the flavors, plus the pasta itself will take and thicken up the juice in the sauce. And this is coming along just fine. Now we'll let this simmer for about another minute or two until it thickens up just a little bit more, and then I'll plate it and serve it and show you what that looks like. This is our shrimp fettuccine primavera, which is the fettuccine in the tomato sauce with the shrimp and all the vegetables you can see. Then I sprinkled a little Parmesan cheese on top of that. Mmm, boy, does that look good, don't it, Callies? Yeah! And her Callie, she wants a sample. Yeah, look at her. Alright, Callie, you ready? Callie. Hi, welcome back. We are here now to do our question and answer period. And this is where you write in questions to us at the Northwoods Cooking Show. And you can email us at the Northwoods Cooking Show at yahoo.com. And Callie and I will try to answer your questions just as best as we possibly can. Let's see who wrote us this week, Callies. Oh. She gets a treat when she answers the mail. Yeah. Come here. It's a pretty. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Oh, pretty. Yeah. That's a pretty boy. Yeah. Quench. Dear Uncle Roy and Miss Callie, I was wondering if there's a way of making your crispy treats and 7-layer bars when pressing them down into the pan to keep them from sticking all over your hands. Signed, Amanda of Minneapolis, Minnesota. Thanks, Amanda. Yeah, there is a way. It's very simple and very easy. I know people have tried, I've tried the plastic gloves and all that, and they still stick to the gloves and that. But the best way is just to take your regular old Pam spray, your food spray, and just spray your hands first, or else put even a little butter on them. And then when you go to press down, it's not going to stick to your hands. And you don't need to put a lot on, just enough to moisten them. Because I've had that problem too. I press them down and then you get all the batter onto your hands and you just can't get it off. It works out really great. It helps to make, so you can get that even pressure down to make them flat and spread out more. Hope that helps you out there, Amanda. So from Miss Callie and I, yeah. Oh, gotta get another one. These are lips. Yeah, kisses. Yeah, little lips. From Miss Callie and I, we like to say, eat healthy, be safe, and spread the sunshine, yeah. Wave goodbye, Callies, yeah.